We are changing the ball joints on our F-550 service truck. It made the drive from Nevada to Indiana when we moved out here. We checked the ball joints prior to leaving and they were good. I-40 is full of potholes. So this took a beating coming across country. So we checked the ball joints again when we got here. We have movement in the ball joints, which is not good. You don't want to break this, so we're getting them replaced right now. These are the new ball joints, upper and lower. These are the new seals that we have for the hubs, and these are the new seals for the axles. This is a seal driver that we made. We have more than 173, so we've done this before on other trucks, and we're going to use that again. Then these are the hardware that go with the ball joints. Let's get it installed. I'm popping off the decorative cover that goes over all 8 lug nuts. Steven's pulling the lug nuts, and then we remove the tire and wheel. This is a wheel spacer right here. It's on an F-550, but not on a 250 or 350. I've never done a 450, so I don't know if it has one or not. Let me know in the comments if you know. There's 8 nuts on the back side of that. Now I'm removing the clip that holds in the locking hub. Steven's pulling the bolt that holds back the ABS line. This is the top nut of the brake caliper and the bottom bolt on the brake caliper. If you pull those two, I think they're 21 millimeters, you can set the brake caliper out of the way up on the leaf spring and secure it there. It'll stay out of the way and you don't have to disconnect the brake lines. Off comes the wheel spacer, and that's what it would look like right there if you were working on a 250 or 350. This locking hub was stuck, so I had to tap it to get it off. Now off comes the brake rotor. Steven's pulling the nut that secures the ABS line into the wheel hub. And now we are removing the steering linkage. I pried up, Steven tapped up, and then we secured that out of the way to the leaf spring as well. It's helpful because you can turn the steering knuckle assembly back and forth to pull these 4 nuts that we're removing now, which hold the hub to the steering knuckle assembly. There's a C-clip in here. You want to pull that out, and then there's 3 washers. 2 round ones and 1 hexagon. And it's easy to remember how these go because the hexagon gets sandwiched between the 2 round ones. I pulled off the wheel hub there, and Steven pulled out the ABS line and the heat shield. Now Steven's prying against the axle housing, and he's prying against the yoke right there on the transaxle to dislodge it from the differential.
Hold on, wait a minute. See that metal ring that just fell off? That's a portion of the old axle seal. That's no problem at all. But right behind that is a thrust washer. You'll see it as you take it apart. It's a plastic thrust washer. It has grooves on one side, and it's important to put those grooves facing the vehicle as you put that axle back in.
Now I'm pulling the cotter pin and the nut on the top ball joint. I leave that nut just barely on to hold this whole thing when it drops free. We pull the bottom nut completely off, and this thing was stuck. So we beat on it for a while with this hammer and this steel bar. Then we let it soak in penetrating oil for a while. Came back, it beat on it some more, and finally it dropped free. So then we pull that top nut that was holding everything the rest of the way off, and it'll drop right out of there. Pull off the retaining clip on the bottom ball joint, and you can press them right out. Now that both ball joints are out, we prepped the area and we're pressing in the new ones. You just want to make sure that's clean in there, and the new one's going to be able to seat completely. We're using hydraulic press for this. They also make a tool that looks like a C-clamp. You can usually borrow it from an auto store, and that'll do the same thing. Once they're back in, I put the retaining clip on that bottom ball joint, and it's ready to reinstall. So we slip that in there, and we put on the top castle nut and put on the bottom nut. It is a deformed lock nut, so it only goes on one way. And then there's a sequence to how you torque these. It'll come on the instructions with your ball joints, or it should. I use this jack here to give me a little pressure on the bottom of that. You don't want to lift the truck off the jacks. You just add a little pressure to keep those ball joints from turning while you're torquing them. And then we reinstalled the cotter pin on that top castle nut, torqued the bottom to spec. And then we're pulling the old seal off the axle. This is a seal puller we had that we made special arms for that reach far enough to do this process. It's really handy. I've used a hammer and screwdriver and pry bars to take it off before. Not nearly as nice. Takes a long time.
This is our seal driver. We're just driving that new seal home.
John Henry was a seal driving man. Ah, catch it.
And we are ready to put the axle back in. I cleaned out that housing where the seal is going to sit. If you look between the steering knuckle assembly and right back there by the axle housing, you can see that other seal in there. In my experience, those usually separate. The rubber separates real quick and it just hangs there. So I didn't even order new ones. I was shocked to find these ones were in, still intact, and so we just are running with them again. I put on the O-ring on the outside, new O-ring on the outside of the hub, and I'm greasing the needle bearings where the axle comes through and it would spin when it's in four-wheel drive. And then put your heat shield on correctly. I've put this on wrong before, and then you have to take everything apart to fix it once you go to put your rotor on. Now we're tapping that wheel hub back on there and torquing the bolts with a little bit of thread locker in a crisscross pattern on the back. There's 4 of them, so I like to go in an X pattern. Turn that wheel knuckle or steering knuckle assembly back and forth to get them as you need to. And then remember, it's round, hexagon, round, and then the retaining clip. Once you put that retaining clip on there, I like to make sure it turns freely. If it doesn't turn freely, that might be a good sign that it's not seated correctly, and you'll need to look at that. Then on goes the rotor, and we're using F-clamps here to press the brake pads apart. You just press on the brake pad towards the side with the piston on it, and those pistons will move back and open up some room so you can slip it over your rotor real nice and easy. Then we put thread locker on those caliper bolts, top and bottom, and we torque those to spec. I'll put the torque specs in the description of the video for you. I'm putting a little gear oil on this locking hub area spline because I want it to come off easier next time I'm servicing it. And then I'm putting in the retaining ring. Steven is hooking up the ABS line again and getting it secured out of the way. And now the steering knuckle goes back on. And the wheel spacer. Steven's putting the cotter pin on the steering knuckle, and now we are torquing the nuts on the wheel spacer. And then on goes the wheel and the lug nuts. I like to snug them up while there's no weight on the tire, and then drop the truck to the ground so it holds it while we final torque them.
That's how you do the ball joints on an F-550 or 450, 350, or 250 for that matter. They're all pretty much the same. If you have any questions about a particular step in the process or didn't get to see something as well as you want, ask in the comments. We've done this several times on several different pickups, and we'd be happy to help you as well. I know we had a few specialty tools that we were doing, but like the seal driver and the seal puller, if you want any of those tools, we can cut some out for you too. So you're welcome to hit us up about making you some of those. And if you like this kind of material, make sure you subscribe so you get our next video. Today we were working on our equipment, but the neat thing about a job shop is you never know what's going to be coming in next. So if you want to see that next project, make sure you subscribe so you get that video.